Honestly, what can I even say about High School Musical that hasn't been said already? This is one of the most popular, most famous movies, I would say, of the 21st century so far. And it happens to be a TV movie. This is something that I think really needs to be highlighted and exacerbated on while I am working on this video. At this point in time, the biggest cultural things that were happening in society were either on radio or on TV or in the movies. And the fact that just 10 years later, that is definitely not going to be the case is very fascinating, and I want us to take note of it right now. High School Musical follows the two characters of Troy Bolton and Gabriella Montez. They live nowhere near each other but end up meeting on New Year's Eve at a ski resort. They bond over a really nice karaoke session and then think they're never going to see each other again. That is until we find out that Gabriella has moved and is now going to East High, the same high school that Troy goes to. He's a really popular basketball guy, and even though he has some interest in singing, he's never shared this with his friends and didn't even know he had this interest until he sang with Gabriella. Gabriella is a nerdy kid who really puts her head into her books because she's constantly being moved around because of her mother's work. So when the two of them hear that there is a school musical happening, Gabriella thinks it might be interesting to audition. However, mean girl Sharpay Evans and her brother Ryan are completely against the idea of them being overshown for the musical. They are classic theater kids. They know their way around a jazz square too, okay? So we have another case of Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off, where we have a main character who is into one sport, but actually has interest in a creative endeavor. In this case, instead of baseball and cooking, it is basketball and singing. This is the second ever musical that Disney Channel did, Cheetah Girls being the first, of course. And it is a capital M musical. Cheetah Girls just had live performances or montages where music played in the background. This is my nostalgia talking, but the music is so good. I watched all of the High School Musical movies we're going to be reviewing today with my father to try and get some outside perspective on the matter, and he is not into musicals at all, and he still didn't like the musical aspect, but he really appreciated the story that it was being told throughout these movies and how kind of interesting all of the different components and elements came together. There was a lot of thought and effort put into this movie, and I think that contributed to it being such a cultural phenomenon. Overall, it's High School Musical. Obviously it's going to be in the top 10. What movies will go over it is going to be a big question, and we'll see where things go from now on.